Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about the one and only Turbo Coin, ladies and gentlemen, right? Practically, I love this coin. I cover this coin every single day. I have so much faith and optimism that this meme coin will do well this cycle. But you know what? I do want to talk about a few things regarding this coin and just the markets overall, because you guys have to know something, okay? So practically, we've seen Turbo over the last couple of days. I mean, I guess kind of like 10 days, 10 days ago, more or less, it pumped up really, really hard. It has slowed down the last couple of days as expected, because I mean, you cannot just carry that momentum all the time. Even though it was short-lived, it was probably like the best couple of days we have seen from any kind of coin in the market. I mean, literally, we were the number one pumped coin in the top like two or 300, which is absolutely fantastic. Speaking about that, we are currently ranked 145. Now, I do believe very, very highly and very, very likely that we will be probably pushing for the top 70, top 50 spot in our peak. We have to remember we are not going to be the only coin that will be getting pumped during altcoin season, right? You got to also remember that meme coin narrative is one of the strongest, but there's also, AI, real world assets, there's a couple of other strong ones. So, Turbo will have a great altcoin season. That is inevitable. But you got to remember, a lot of coins will also have a pretty good altcoin season at the bare minimum. So we will be paying attention to the ranking, right? We can see right now we are 340th. Oh, sorry, 340 million in volume. We have 170 million volume, 340 million market cap. We can see that the holders have actually dipped down by roughly 50, I would say. Now, I don't really care about this, right? We've seen holders go down here and there every couple of days, every couple of weeks. We lose some holders, but the general trend is up. The general trend is up. And, my bias is that, some people see things slowing down with Turbo and they probably just got scared and they cashed out, right? Maybe people bought a little bit higher. Maybe people were around break even. Maybe people bought near the bottom and said, hey, you know what? That was the pump. That is it. And you know what? At the end of the day, you're allowed to do what you want to do, right? As of right now, Turbo, right? Turbo is kind of consolidating in a range. Consolidation, ladies and gentlemen, is practically when something goes sideways. We can see that Turbo, right? If we draw this up very, very nicely for you guys, more or less is ranging between 0.0041, you can say even 42 to 0.0056. Roughly, that is the main range where Turbo is going right now. Now, I still personally think Turbo will dip a little bit lower. Yes, we did see Bitcoin pump, right? I did think Bitcoin was going to have a better pullback, but it just ultimately didn't, right? After this daily close, this was a pretty weak daily close, and we can see the next day it just went from 94,000 practically all the way up to 96,500, and it is currently at 97,000. So we can see that it is trying to, continue going up. Bitcoin itself will probably, highly likely, start reversing around the 98K mark. The thing is, right, we are super bullish right now, right? We are starting to lose momentum, but, we are still super bullish. I personally do want to see a better fundamental pullback, not really for myself or to get more entries, but for people that have missed the, prime opportunities. They won't get prime opportunities, but they still get great, great prices. So, for me, that is what I really want, right? Even if we go up here or down here, it doesn't matter, right? More or less, I want to see some type of correction before we go up, so you guys can have another chance in getting great prices for your meme coins, for Turbo, for other coins. But here's the thing, people, right? And this is what I want to talk about, right? And I'm going to show you other pairs, and you're probably like, why are you showing me this? This is relevant, okay? So I'm going to show you gold. And the reason why I'm showing you gold is because we can see, right, if we go on something like the 4 hour, once things kind of start recovering, right, we can see that we overall for gold had this, we had some double tops here, bottom, bottom skip going higher and higher. We can see once gold kind of started to recover, there was never actually like a big fundamental pullback. It was just all in the relative zones. And that was enough for gold to just kind of keep pumping. We could see, right? Gold goes down, gold goes up, retest something off this, off this relative zone, off pretty much this, right? This area becomes a nice good zone here. We have a pullback to go higher, boom, and we just kind of go until we start really slowing down. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because once things do start to get going, they don't really have to pull back that much. And we can see it in gold, right? We can see in gold that, even it going a couple hours sideways here was just enough for it to continue to pumping up. A little bit of a pullback off of this zone to then continue pulling up higher. Yes, eventually we did have, a big dip over here but at the beginning of April, but then we can see not too long after, gold was just shooting up as if it just got launched from a catapult. So we can see, right? Once things do recover and do start pumping, they will start going by really fast. And that is going to be the same thing for Bitcoin. That is going to be the same thing for other altcoins. And that is most definitely going to be the same thing for Turbo. So why I'm telling you this is because if you do see buying opportunities or prices you are happy with, right, just simply buy it. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, right? But, the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, once things do start speeding up, they may not have these bigger fundamental pullbacks, right? They might not be coming back to very big key levels. Now, in this particular context, I still think we will hit this key level, but there will be a point where we won't really be pulling back to key levels and we'll just kind of trade off relevant zones, right? We'll break through something, we'll have a little bit of a pullback, sideways movement for a couple hours, couple days, never get full big pullbacks, and then we will just continue going up, 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 up. That is how, that is how fast things can get in this market, right? Now, I don't think, like I said, we're still at that stage yet, but maybe, who knows, if once Turbo gets to this price, there might not be a big fundamental pullback, right? We might go like this, do whatever, and then just kind of continue going up higher. So, I'm just saying it now in advance that get ready, because crypto moves in bursts. Okay, crypto moves in bursts. Bitcoin moves in bursts, Turbo move in bursts, the hype moves in bursts. People are all over the place, happy, super, super, super happy that Turbo is pumping and pumping and pumping. Things slow down, they get worried. Some people leave, some people, start creating agendas saying this and that. But, I'm just saying that is just how it is, right? Like I said, talked about holders. I expect holders to be rising super, super fast once the markets are consistently green, and especially a little bit before altcoin season till pretty much after altcoin season, just for a little bit. That is going to be the main prime area where we're going to be increasing in holders, hundreds of holders a day, thousands of holders a day. And you're going to see, you guys will all see. The one thing I do want to end off this video is pretty much just, looking at, the Turbo hashtag, seeing what people are saying. Now, I didn't really look at anything, so all this could be rubbish, but we can see there is a lot of people, saying optimistic things. And we can see this Matty Boy guy, shout out to you because your first name's also Matt, just like mine. Also does something similar, right? Squiggly lines, but still relevant. We can see huge demand zone from Turbo right over here. And you can see small pullback, pump, a bigger pullback and pump, right? So more or less, right? More or less. Remember, we are people that just have experience in the markets with trading, with whatever it is, but it doesn't necessarily mean, right, that we know 100% what's going to happen on the micro move, okay? So yeah, we can see some, like I said, overall optimism, right? There's nothing new from Turbo really worth sharing today, from Turbo themselves. So that's why I'm just here looking at community, comments. But you see, all optimistic, right? Oh, shout out to me. We see Turbo animations. That was what we love to see. And yeah, Turbo shoes, right? This is excited. I will definitely cop a pair when they come out. And what is this? Turbo Mario? Yeah, look. So this is cool, right? Imagine if Turbo was in Mario, obviously that would be next level. But you know what? Never say never. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.